Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, Nehal, we had done about development of writing,
Yes,
literacy, uses
yes,
of
ma'am.
writing. Okay. What class you had before this?
Yes, ma'am.
What period did you have before this?
Ma'am, political science.
Okay. Anushri, was she there?
No, ma'am.
What is wrong with her? She was not there for political science class also. Yesterday she messaged me she's not well. So today she's not attending classes. What about Keshav?
No, ma'am. I was the only one.
So I'll have to make calls now as a class. Acha, that problem was sorted out now? PHE thing.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I sir sent me the link and I was in the group. I took the class today.
Fine, that's nice.
Yeah.
We had described about this palace. We were reading this. Read this better. This is description of the palace we had seen yesterday. Read it quickly. Take 2 minutes to read and then we discuss. You can read on your own, not loudly, and then we'll discuss the palace.
I had a
This is
question.
palace of the king of.
Mari,
Yes, very good. Just read.
the question.
Yes, Peter.
Ma'am, the notes I sent on the group for the first chapter, were they okay? Or do
Yes,
I need
Peter.
to change anything
No,
on
no,
them?
they're perfectly okay. Perfectly okay. First chapter you prepared, though I'll be also posting notes of the first chapter. But if you prepare yourself, you'll be very confident of it. We had done some questions also, if you remember.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll continue with it later. Once we have 2 periods in a day, we can move on to that and finish it also. It is so difficult. Like yesterday, we had Keshav, whatever he has missed out, I go back again to the same thing and teach him again. Then after
Yes,
2 days,
ma'am.
3 days, Anushri will come. She has missed out so many things. If we have 2 classes in a day, then again we have to go back to where we started from. It has become very difficult like this. These children are very comparatively. Keshav is still regular, but I think I should not say this. At times he is also. I'll just call the parents only today. They were not there for English class also. You were there for English class?
I was there.
Both of them, yeah, you were there. I know you posted also. They were not there. They were not there for political science class today. They were not there for English class today. What other period you had today?
Ma'am, we had PHE and then economics.
Obviously, they must have not joined for PhD in economics also, if they're not there only today. Read better.
She was in the economics PhD class.
Okay.
Rest, economics, I don't know about, but she was there in the PhD class.
Must have attended one period. After that, not felt like.
Ma'am, red. Ma'am, red.
Yes, beta. Tell me, what did you read about the palace?
Ma'am, I read that the palace at Mari was the residence of the royal family. The hub, it was also the hub of administration and a place of production, especially of precious ornaments. It was so beautiful and so important and famous that a minor king from North Syria came just to see it. He also carried with him a letter of the friend of King of Mari. Uh, it is the daily lists that are found in the palace show that the king must have been presented with a huge amount of food every day. That is, it must have included flour, bread, meat, fish, fruit, beer, and wine. It is also assumed that he would have probably eaten his food in the company of many others in the courtyard in his palace. It is the palace only had one entrance, and that too was in the north, and it had a large open courtyard and which was beautifully paved. The king must have received people which was near the open courtyard or outer court or the open courtyard. A room, the audience hall was a room with wall paintings that had awed the visitors. The
Very good, very
palace had two and covered an area of 2.4 hectares.
yes. So you can see what a lavish lifestyle they had. Large open courtyards, room with all wall paintings that would have awed the visitors. What do you mean by this line? The visitors were
Ma'am,
this line, beta.
the ma'am that they were in awe, that they really liked the room and they were completely fascinated by it.
Very good. So how many rooms?
260.
Okay. And 2.4 hectares. So you can imagine how huge, lavish it must have been. The kings of Mari, however, had to be vigilant. They had to be very careful also. Why? The herders of various tribes were allowed to move in the kingdom, but they were watched. They used to allow the herders to move, but they had to keep a watch on the herders because the previous experience about the previous past, they knew that the herders used to become what? Very, very powerful. You remember we read yesterday?
Yes, ma'am.
The herders used to become so powerful that they used to start ruling. So the kings of Mari had to be very careful. Although the kings of Mari lived a very comfortable, luxurious life, but they were very vigilant. What does the word vigilant here mean, beta?
Careful.
Yes, they were very careful. Careful of whom? Vigilant of the herders. Very careful about the herders. Were they allowed to enter the kingdom or they were not allowed only?
Ma'am, they were allowed.
They were allowed, but they were only allowed on specific routes so they can be watched. The camps of the herders are mentioned frequently in letters between kings and officials. That means the officials were watching them carefully. So whenever there was a camp of any herder, the officials used to write and inform whom? Inform the
The kings
king
and the
about.
officials.
Yes. The officials were given the duty to keep a watch on these herders. So whenever we had herder groups coming, the officials used to write and inform the kings. In one of the letters, the officer writes to the king that he has been seeing frequent fire signals at night sent by one camp to another, and he suspects that a raid or an attack is being planned. See, this is how they used to keep a watch. One of the letters, one of the officers is writing to the king that I have observed at night, they send fire signals to each other, one camp to the other camp. There were more than one camps. So he suspects that they are planning what? They're planning an attack on Mari. This shows what, beta? That they were very, very apprehensive of the herders. Though they used to not stop them, but they used to keep a continuous watch on them. We had certain officers whose work was this only, to keep a watch on the herders and keep informing it to. Okay, let's do this. Located on the Euphrates in a prime position for trade. This was the river we had talked about. In wood, copper, tin, oil, wine, and various other goods that were carried in boats along the Euphrates between the south and the mineral rich uplands of Turkey, Syria, and Lebanon. See what all business is going on? Wood, copper, tin, oil, wine, and other things. Who used to carry them? Small boats. They used to carry them to areas of Turkey, Syria, Lebanon. Mari is a very good example of an urban center prospering on trade. See, they are doing business with so many other neighboring countries, Turkey, Syria, and which is the third country which is mentioned?
Lebanon.
Lebanon. So they prospered on trade. Boats carrying grinding stones, wood, wine, oil jars would stop at Mari on their way to the southern cities. Officers of this town would go aboard. I mean, they used to go on the boat, inspect the cargo. A single river boat could hold only 300 wine jars. This was the rule which was made. So these officers, they used to go and check whether they're carrying more than this or not, and levy a charge of about 1/10 the value of the goods before allowing the boat to continue downstream. See, this Mari was a little upstream. So when the boats were coming from upstream and down, they had to cross this Mari. They used to pay something, some levy, some tax to Mari people. How much tax was being paid, see, beta? 1/10 of the
One
value of goods. Okay. Supposing you're carrying something of 1,000 rupees, how much do you need to pay the officials?
100.
Yes. So this is how they were making a lot of money. Barley came in special grain boats. So we had boats carrying wine. We had boats which carried barley. Most important tablets refer to copper. Coming from which place? Alasia. Copper used to come from which place?
Alasia.
This is an island in Cyprus known for copper and tin. So copper and tin used to also come pass through this. So they were making money in the form of levy, that is taxes. Okay. As bronze was the main industrial material for tools and weapons, this trade was of great importance. Although the kingdom of Vari was not militarily strong, it was exceptionally prosperous. Militarily, they were not very strong, beta. They did not have a strong military or a lot of tools and all, but they were very prosperous. Why prosperous? Because they were making a lot of money from this trading business, sending their own goods out and even taking taxes from all the boats which crossed their area. They used to stop them, check them, and charge them 1/10 of the product that they were carrying. So this is how Mari became very, very prosperous. Excavating Mesopotamian towns. Today, Mesopotamian excavators have much higher standards of accuracy and care in recording than in the old days. So that few dig huge areas the way ore was excavated. So we got to know like this. This was the reason we got the discovery of ore. Few archaeologists have the funds to employ large teams of excavators. Thus, the mode of obtaining data has changed. System has changed now. We have government supporting, we have funds for the excavators, we have a larger team of excavators, and that is why the information that we are getting has changed bit. Earlier, we did not have high standards. Today, if you talk about, we have high standards of accuracy. There are many reasons behind it. They have funds, they have large teams. Take this town. Take the small town or at Abu Salabik. This is only 10 hectares in area. Somewhere in 2500 BC with a population less than 10,000. The outlines of the walls were at first traced by scrapping the surfaces. The archaeologists, they scrapped the surface and they saw these outlines of the walls. This involves scraping off the top few millimeters of the mound with the sharp and white end of a shovel or other tool. So how are they doing it? They used to take a shovel. This is a tool. And they used to just scrap a few millimeters of the mound, the topmost part, just scraping off, not breaking. Remember, scraping. Scraping is peeling off, something like you can say peeling off very carefully so that the inner material does not get spoiled. That is what is scraping. We are doing it with a shovel. While the soil underneath was still slightly moist, the archaeologists could make out different colors, textures, and lines of brick walls or pits or other features. So they could see very carefully. Different colors are there, different textures of brick were there. A few houses that were discovered were excavated. The archaeologists also sieved through tons of earth. Okay, they dig the earth also, and they recovered plant and animal remains, and in the process identified many species of plants and animals. They also found large quantities of charred fish bones, spoiled, destroyed, rotten, that had been swept out on the streets. That day, we remember that they used to put their garbage on the streets.
Yes, ma'am.
Plant seeds and fiber remaining after dung cakes had been burned as fuel, and thus kitchens were identified. So, wherever we had fuel burning, we could identify, archaeologists could identify that these must be the kitchens. Living rooms were those with fewer traces because they found the teeth of very young pigs on the streets. Archaeologists concluded that pigs must have roamed freely here as in other Mesopotamian towns. They found what? When they were digging, they found what of pigs? Hmm?
Yes, ma'am.
They found the teeth of pigs. What did they find on the streets?
The teeth of pigs.
So they could guess out that pigs used to freely move on the streets very freely. In fact, one house burial contained some pig bones. The dead person must have been given some pork for his nourishment. Now they don't know. There is a dead body also, and the remains of the bones of a dead person, and there are bones of a pig also along with it. So we are not able to comprehend why this happened. Maybe when they had buried their dead, they must have buried a pig also along so that he can eat after death. We don't know. We're just guessing. The archaeologists also made microscopic studies of room floors to decide which room in a house were roofed. And how was the roofing done? With the help of logs, palm leaves, and straw. And some rooms were kept open in the sky. Some rooms were roofed. They had roofs made of logs, leaves, and some were open. What we are trying to tell in this paragraph is you don't have to learn anything in this, just that how the methods of archaeologists have changed. And with these changed methods, they have a lot of funds, they have larger teams. Now we are able to excavate deeply. We are able to get more information, okay, compared to the earlier times. We come to the cities in Mesopotamian culture. Just this paragraph, read it quickly, we'll discuss. Cities in Mesopotamia culture.
Ma'am, weren't these bones and bones of people and animals and dead and decaying remains of plants? Ma'am, won't they have decayed over the years? I mean, this is like way back in history. So, like, how are
See,
they?
when we say bone fossils, we always don't mean that we have got bones. What do we get? We get impressions. Like for leaves, we get impressions on wet soil. So some of them, if they are wet, the areas, we get impressions better. You know what are
Okay.
impressions now?
Yes, ma'am, a copy or if you like stamp or some like some
Like
stamp.
supposing you go on a wet lawn or a wet soil and you walk on it, you will see your footprints over there. So
Yes, ma'am.
impressions is something. And if the thing is wet, it will continue to be there till it dries up. So especially the wet areas inside, when they peeled off or scrapped off the outer parts. Remember, we had read that they peeled off and scrapped off the outer parts. So inside, what they
Yes.
found was moist ones. And we had certain impressions. But we still don't know, like pig bones and human bones, impressions together at one place. Why were they buried together? Still not clear. Just assumptions. We are going to read about cities in Mesopotamian culture. Just one paragraph. Yes, Snehal, read beta.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, what did you read?
Ma'am, I read that Mesopotamians valued city life in which people from various cultures lived together and were peaceful with each other. The cities which were destroyed in war, they wrote poetries about it, and then was told those poetries were told to many people. One of the most important and beautiful reminders of such poetries or Mesopotamians is that at the end of the Gilgamesh epic, was written on 12 tablets, it is said that Gilgamesh uh, had ruled the city of Uruk after sometime after Enmerkar. He was a great hero who who helped and conquered people far and wide, but he got a shock when his friend died. Then he set out to find the secret of immortality that and crossed the rivers and water bodies all around the world, but he could not find it and he failed. Uh, After returning, he consoled himself by walking around the city back and forth, admiring the foundations that of the bricks that he had laid and made to the city. Um, on the city walls of Uruk, his tales of heroism were written and expressed.
Yes,
Um,
beta. Nothing so typical. We
yes,
have just said that after the cities were destroyed, they did not forget the cities. They recalled them. They remembered them. In what? Poetry. They remembered them in which form?
poetry.
Poetry. So this is a basic example we have given that they used to take care of. This is something interesting. The legacy of writing. See what it is very quickly. You'll find it interesting. Read it quickly. I'll explain this one. Just go through it once. Okay, we are talking about the legacy of writing. While moving narratives can be transmitted orally, science requires written text that generation of scholars can read and build upon. Obviously, we can have narratives passing on from one generation to the other by mouth. But what does science require?
Written text.
Yes, so that the scholars can read and decide what it is. Perhaps the greatest legacy of Mesopotamia to the world is its scholarly tradition of time reckoning and mathematics. They were very good at two things: reckoning time and mathematics. During around 1800 BC, our tablets with multiplication and divisor tablets. They knew how to multiply, they knew how to divide, square roots, square root tables, tables of compound interest, everything we have on the tablets. So this shows that they knew how to multiply, divide, they even knew how to calculate square roots. They had a table exactly of the value of square roots. They also had tables of compound interest. The square root of 2 was given as 1 plus 24 upon 60 plus 51 upon 60 whole square plus 10 upon 60 whole cube. If you work out, you will get this value 1.414, which in mathematics now we say that yes, the value of root 2 is 1.414. Slightly different from the correct answer. The correct answer that we have in mathematics today is 1.41421356. So only the last 3 digits are different.
Yes, ma'am.
But if you see the first 3-4 digits, 1.414 are same. Students had to solve problems such as the following. Now, these kind of questions were there in mathematics for students at that time. A field of area such and such is covered with 1 finger deep in water. Find the volume of water. See, this kind of level of mathematics the students are already studying. The division of the year into 12 months according to the revolution of the moon around the earth. Division of the month into 4 weeks, day into 24 hours, hours into 60 minutes. All that now that we use has all come to us from Mesopotamians only. All these time divisions were adopted by the successors of Alexander, and from there it was transmitted to the Roman world. So Alexander took it as it is from Mesopotamia, then passed it on to the Roman world, then it passed it on to the world of Islam, and then gradually medieval Europe, everybody is following this. Whenever we have a solar and a lunar eclipse, the occurrence was noted according to the year, month, and day. It was noted down that yes, we had a solar eclipse on this date or we had a lunar eclipse on this date. So there were records about the observed position of stars and constellations in the night sky. Even they kept a record about constellations, that yes, this constellation was seen at this position. Just a small paragraph on the top of the box. Let's read this. None of these momentous Mesopotamian achievements would have been possible without writing and the urban institution of schools, where students read and copied earlier written tablets, and where some boys were trained to become not record keepers for the administration, but intellectuals who could build on the work of their predecessors. So we had proper schools, students were given this task. They were also given the task of copying the important tablets. For example, some important discovery is done, some important research is done, and it is written on one tablet. So they used to feel that maybe this tablet gets destroyed, our knowledge will get destroyed. So the students were supposed to make copies, write the same thing on different tablets. But remember, all students were just not motivated to be copiers, simply copying. They were expected to do research and find out more things or more discoveries. See this. We would be mistaken if we think that the preoccupation with the urban world of Mesopotamia is a modern phenomena. There were 2 early attempts to locate and preserve the text and tradition of the past. See, we know about mathematics. They were very good at mathematics. Now we're going to talk about an early library. See, what kind of a library was this? Early library. Read it better. Once you finish reading about the library, share it with me.
Okay, ma'am.
Describe the library, Snehal.
Ma'am, just a minute more, please.
Okay, beta. We'll see if we can do the notes wala part in the last chapter. I'll see how much is done, how many more have to be done. Review of the notes.
Okay, ma'am.